All right, let's just dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a digital experience that completely, flawlessly blends everyday online shopping with some seriously high-concept cosmic lore. It's published under the title of the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies I. And get this, it's stamped with a release date of June 11th, 2026. Yeah, a literal broadcast from the near future. The whole thing exists within a broader studio project known as Biba Biba Bibe. And what we're really going to do today is deconstruct exactly how this source material uses the incredibly mundane, boring language of modern online institutions to build a massive, mind-bending sci-fi universe.
So, we're kicking things off with a massive juxtaposition here. I mean, can you actually earn a Ph.D. across alternate timelines? Because this university presents itself as a place to study literal interdimensional concepts while simultaneously asking you to, check out your online shopping cart. It operates as a storefront and an academic institution at the exact same time. It's a completely surreal experience where the infinite possibilities of the multiverse just violently collide right into the rigid transactional reality of modern web browsing.
What's really fascinating is how perfectly mundane the site navigation is. You've got TrueFlow tools and services, and the magazine sitting right alongside an actual portal to the Cosmic University. And then, right at the bottom, your totally standard e-commerce features, a wish list with 0 items, and a shopping cart that politely informs you your cart is empty. It literally forces you to accept the extraordinary, a Cosmic University, by sandwiching it right between the most ordinary internet features imaginable.
Moving into our first section, Tuition and Multiversal Study, or Financing Your Interdimensional Education.
Now, this site grounds its entire sci-fi premise by mimicking a modern, debt-driven educational institution. The creators didn't just wave their hands and say, school costs money. Oh no, they gave us the exact figures. Earning a master's degree is going to run you between $417 and $833 a month, while stepping up to a Ph.D. in Echo Rift Studies, that will set you back up to $1,250 a month. You aren't just out there exploring the multiverse of tomorrow, you're literally figuring out your monthly budget to afford it.
And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates the creator's deadpan humor. The Voices from the Rift section features a totally normal, almost painfully corporate student testimonial about the flexibility of monthly payments. But then, it casually drops the insane concept of working across timelines. It is the absolute perfect blend of a brochure you'd find at your local community college and a script from a hardcore science fiction film.
We've got another incredible testimonial too. I finished my master's in 12 months. It's so interesting how the source material uses the totally familiar language of accelerated plans to make the massive leap into dimensional modeling feel like a completely standard career path. And why does this matter? Well, treating the fantastic as mundane is honestly one of the most effective world-building tools out there. It makes you suspend your disbelief because the administrative bureaucracy feels so incredibly real. Next up is the curriculum of the Rift. What exactly do you study here?
To actually understand what these students are paying for, we have to look at the syllabus. The curriculum is neatly organized into structured multiversal interactions, which, let's be honest, sounds exactly like a set of heavy, legitimate university electives. You aren't just learning magic, you're studying dimensional topology, you're measuring echo field dynamics, you're analyzing quantum narrative theory. It shows a really deep commitment to treating this universe with strict academic rigor.
Let's actually zero in on that last one for a second. Quantum narrative theory. It's highly specific, highly evocative language like this that makes the world building so deeply immersive. It treats it as a rigorous academic discipline. It implies that in this specific universe, stories and narratives actually have quantum properties. They have literal physical weight and measurable dynamics. And, you can get graded on it.
Moving on to the founders and cosmic origins. Who exactly runs the Echo Rift?
This is where the line between grounded academic credentials and deep sci-fi mythology just completely blurs. On one side, we have Dr. Melvin Sewell, holding an M.Sc. and a Ph.D., listed as the CEO, academic dean, and diagnostic architect. Very professional, very credentialed. But right next to him in the lore, Saiku Venga. And Saiku isn't described with degrees. They are a mythic entity literally born between slip flow and counterflow.
And the lore gets incredibly deep and specific here. The text explicitly states that Psycho Venga is marked by SH1 resonance. Dropping terms like SH1 resonance establishes a universe that clearly has its own set of physical laws and internal logic. It isn't just random magic, right? It's a measurable frequency in their world.
But what makes this universe so unbelievably immersive is that these characters and entities actually maintain a footprint on real-world platforms.
The website literally links out to a Google Scholar profile, a Zenodo canon, an ORCID profile, a GitHub profile, and yep, even a LinkedIn page. The creator is taking the illusion and extending it directly into our reality. By clicking these links, you're pulled out of the fiction and right into the actual databases used by real scientists and developers every single day.
Which brings us to our final section, the Sovereign Diagnostic Reveal, the true purpose exposed. So, this is the climax of the project, where a stark, all-caps disclaimer basically pulls the rug out from under the entire university facade. It explicitly states that this project is not affiliated with any government, political party, intelligence agency, or activist group. The creator impartially, explicitly strips away any real-world political or institutional ties. They're clearing the stage, basically telling us, do not map standard partisan politics onto this. We are doing something entirely different here.
And the creator's own words define the absolute heart of the source material. The university isn't a school at all. It's a transmedia art piece. They define all these materials, the films, the magazine posts, the university syllabus, as mythic infrastructure, cinematic indictment, and sovereign broadcast. It's a conceptual framework. They're building a mythology not just for the sake of entertainment, but as a genuine lens to view our own reality.
And what exactly is that lens looking at? Well, the text reveals that this elaborate cosmic lore is actually a conceptual tool meant to expose highly specific, systemic issues, and explicitly mentions ritualized containment, actor convergence, and systemic erosion. So all of those sci-fi trappings, the echo rifts, the quantum theories, the alternate timelines, they're an artistic metaphor. They're designed to make us critically examine the very real systems of control and institutional decay happening in our actual world.
So, the absolutely crucial takeaway is this. The curriculum, the symbols, the lore, they aren't just cool aesthetic choices. As the disclaimer notes, the interpretations, glyphs, and collapse protocols are literally diagnostic tools. They are not political endorsements, they aren't straightforward institutional critiques, they are an interactive toolkit for you to engage with, a way to diagnose the systemic erosion around you, but using the vocabulary of a sci-fi universe.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought as we wrap up today's explainer. Now that you know the Cosmic University isn't just some quirky e-commerce site, but rather a complex diagnostic tool for our own systemic erosion, how will you use it? Are you ready to decipher its glyphs and collapse protocols for yourself? Because the syllabus is out there, the timelines are open, and right now, your cart is currently empty. Thanks so much for exploring this wildly fascinating digital world with me today.